As I ventured deeper into the dense thicket of the woods, a sense of unease began to gnaw at my gut. The towering trees, their branches interlocking like skeletal fingers, seemed to conspire against my every step. My heart pounded in my chest as the once familiar trail faded into obscurity behind me. Panic threatened to engulf me, but I clenched my teeth, determined to keep my wits about me. It had started as a simple day hike, a chance to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. The sun had been high in the sky when I set out on the well-marked path, but now it was dipping low, casting long shadows that danced and whispered eerie secrets. My backpack, containing the few supplies I had brought with me, felt heavier with each passing hour. I tried to retrace my steps, but the forest was a labyrinth of twisted roots and hidden pitfalls. The GPS on my phone was useless. The dense canopy above blocked any signal from the satellites orbiting high in the sky. With a sinking feeling, I realized I was truly lost. A knot of fear tightened in my chest as I contemplated the possibility of spending the night in the wilderness, ill-equipped and unprepared. As nightfall approached, the temperature plummeted, and I shivered uncontrollably. I knew I needed to find shelter soon, but the darkness made it nearly impossible to see. Every rustle of leaves, every distant hoot of an owl, sent shivers down my spine. I pressed on, stumbling blindly through the underbrush, my heart racing with every step. Eventually, I stumbled upon a small clearing bathed in the pale light of the moon. It seemed like a stroke of luck, a small reprieve from the relentless darkness. I decided to set up camp there, using the meager supplies in my backpack. With trembling hands, I managed to start a fire, its flickering flames providing a meager sense of security in the vast, unknown wilderness. The night was long and filled with strange, unsettling sounds. Every snap of a twig or distant howl of a coyote sent me into a state of high alert. I huddled close to the fire, my eyes fixed on the dancing flames, desperately hoping that daylight would come soon. When dawn finally broke, it brought little comfort. My situation had not improved. I was still hopelessly lost, and my supplies were running dangerously low. The sense of isolation and vulnerability was overwhelming. I knew I had to make a choice, stay put and hope for rescue, or try to find my way back to civilization. I decided to keep moving, reasoning that staying in one place would only prolong my ordeal. I followed a stream, hoping it would lead me to civilization, but it soon became clear that the forest was an unforgiving and relentless adversary. The terrain grew rougher, the underbrush thicker, and my progress slower. Days turned into weeks as I continued my desperate journey through the woods. I had become a shadow of my former self, my body gaunt and battered, my clothes tattered and torn. My survival depended on my ability to forage for food and find water, skills I had never imagined I would need. Loneliness settled in like a heavy fog. I yearned for human contact, for the familiar comforts of home. Each night, I would gaze up at the starry sky, wondering if anyone was searching for me, if anyone even knew I was missing. The isolation gnawed at my sanity, and I often found myself talking to the trees and animals, desperate for any semblance of companionship. But I never gave up. I refused to let the forest consume me. With each passing day, I grew stronger, more resilient. I learned to navigate by the sun and the stars, to identify edible plants and track game. The forest, once my enemy, became my teacher. Then, one fateful day, as I was wandering along a ridge, I heard the distant sound of voices. My heart leaped with hope. I followed the sound, stumbling and tripping over rocks and roots, until I emerged from the woods and into the clearing where a group of search and rescue personnel had set up camp. Their faces were a mix of relief and astonishment as they saw me, a wild-eyed and bedraggled survivor emerging from the depths of the forest. I was overwhelmed with gratitude as they rushed to my side, offering water, food, and a reassuring touch. I had been lost in the woods for what felt like an eternity, but I had emerged from the ordeal stronger and more resilient than I could have ever imagined. The experience had tested my limits, pushed me to the brink of despair, but ultimately, it had taught me the power of human determination and the indomitable spirit that resides within us all. As I looked back at the forest that had been both my tormentor and my savior, I knew that I had survived the wilderness, and it had forever changed me.